thank you so much for staying with us. You know, it was just yesterday as well, or thereabout, that we received this news, you know, from the Minister of Information and National Orientation that well, there's a lot of work to do in that department as well, in that department of our lives as a nation, and it is something most certainly concerning that we need value reorientation, and that's part of our conversation this morning with Dr. Awuson, who is Dr. Olusonya Awuson, who was in government, Special Assistant on Public Relations to former President Goodluck Jonathan. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's my pleasure, my brother, my sister.
You know, from time to time, I have been labeled by my colleagues, including her, that I'm always referencing the Constitution. I'm always referencing the duties of the citizen that is in the Constitution. I think it's, you know, chapter 24 thereabout, or section 24 of the Constitution. And a lot of it, in fact, 23, I think, also talks about the national values of self-discipline, ethics, discipline, and all those things. So it then begs the question where we are when it seems like all of those just go without really getting attention. When the minister, for instance, mentioned the need for value reorientation, what do you think he has in mind?
Well, you know, John Locke said men and women come together in civil society to seek right to life, liberty, and property. The society is an assemblage of agreements of people at every layer. That's why it's a society. And the essence of it is that they come to seek all those things. And you will find out that it's only in the animal kingdom that you can say, maybe, okay, let's not leave them to go. There must be rules and regulations and all this that will guide us. But one of the fundamental structure of any society that we thrive is public morality. Moderating any particular political system is the dynamics and the character of public morality. It is this that determines the emergence of institutions and moderates the modus operandi of such institutions. If you have such bankrupt public morality, you already can guess how your institutions will function. Policies everywhere, there are policies, good policies here and there. You know, the way maybe to put it is that, look at the parable of the sower. All the seeds are the same, but what is the difference? The soil. That soil is the fundamental, that is the public morality.
If we are going to go that way,
yeah,
there are 4 segments on that soil.
Yeah.
1 piece of land,
yeah,
4 different soil types.
Yeah.
Only 1 of 4
yeah,
was good soil,
yeah,
in that parable.
Yes.
Is that the same thing in Nigeria?
That is that defines what public morality, I mean, in a layman language, that defines what public morality is and how important is public morality. Because you ask me ethics and values and all this, I mean, I just sum them up by public morality so that you can save our time.
Okay.
That defines the importance. So if you say you are a brilliant engineer, if you are a brilliant bricklayer, if you say you are a brilliant broadcaster, what moderates your action? What moderates your action? I dare say that I have never read of any country all over the world that has risen to its utmost best without having sound public morality. You will remember public discussion about Norway in those days, that people will begin to wonder, why is it that there is no crime in Norway? That was why the shooting that happened many years ago took the world by surprise. Because in Norway, the degree of social trust there is very high. What do I mean by social trust? It is that thing, that prompting, that makes you believe in your system. You get the point. It will, and it responds. The response is diverse. It could respond through provision. You get to your house, you put it on, the light is working. You get to your tap, this thing is working. You get to your police station, you are treated like human beings. You get the point. You get to the custom, you want to clear this thing, it works. No, it will naturally prompt you to believe in the system.
Okay. Now, the challenge for me here is maybe to marry this with our recruitment process for leadership in the country. I often say this, that government work, they come in 3 layers at least. One is employment, the civil servants. The other is appointment. The other is by election. Now, there are terminal times for those who are appointed or elected. But those who are employed, they have a longer tenure to stay in office. Where do you think we have the most problem?
Well, you know, for me, the way I like to put it is that I have worked in civil service before. And I know, that, I remember when I joined, look, the greatest school I've ever attended in life is the civil service. Because I learned a lot from the civil service. Up to today, most of the things I'm doing for myself, you know, because the moderating factor is that experience that I had. And I work in a particular place. I work in the High Court. And as a young boy with A level, I was put in the open court as a clerk. You get the point? And I work with the judges. The judge that was supervised, I was in advocacy. The judge that was supervising us, there was Mr. Justice Piper. I knew with Mr. Justice Piper one single friend. And not everybody, members of staff, has affected access to it. That is how sanctity of that duty and of the performance. You know, there is nowhere you look at in this country and you say, except this place. There is none. Is it the media? Is it in our hospitals? Those who go on strike every day?
Well,
is it in
all these places? They are not just. Those are not public offices. The media, for instance, there is public.
What I'm saying is
private practice.
Whether public or private.
Yes.
What moderates those institutions is the character and the content of public morality.
I'm glad that you worked at, you know, the very top before. So this deficit in morality in the public, do you think that it flows from the top, you know, as they say, the lack of heroism causes the people not to have any sense of loyalty in the first place?
Yeah, I think if you trace the history of Nigeria, I think it started with the military. You know, that's my own understanding. Other people can understand it in another. That is my own understanding and my own research findings. It started with the military. Once upon a time, when you are traveling from my village, from my town, Leisure, you get to places you want to buy something, they will have put the price there. All you need to do is to pay the appropriate and just go your way. You don't know the seller does not know the buyer. And that system was going on. So it came at a time where our democracy, maybe the military are not so, they have training in leadership, but not the type of leadership that will require then to have sustained our democracy, that our democracy will have evolved. Look, every system to evolve. Once upon a time, the Parliament of Great Britain cannot sit past 12 noon. Because by the time they go, the parliamentarians go, some of them are already drunk. And it took, men are said to be ultimate makers of history. But history itself has shown that every epoch-making event in life is due to selflessness of very people. It took some people, which some people later called Puritans, to intervene and begin to flow ideas that begin to permeate the fabric of their society. Look, historians may not say that is what led to part of what led to the first industrial revolution. And if you go and Google it, you will see the church and industrial revolution.
Let's bring it back home.
Okay.
You said it started from the military. It continued in the civilian democracy, right?
Yes.
Didn't it? Or are you absolving the civilian democracy?
No, I'm not absolving it. Your question seems to be asking for how did we get here?
Yeah.
Yes, I said we got here through the military.
But we've been here for 24 years.
Yes, now. 24, yes. We've been there for 24 years.
We've been here for 24 years. Yes,
because there is no deliberate plan and sustained effort to change the situation. We are also been talking about policy. Look, some people that are blaming the NSC for saying that, no, don't give it to the governor. It is based on their experience now. We have governors who have done well, who are doing well. Like Governor of Lagos said to me, he's doing very well. But you can't say that about many other governors. Some of them are just bully.
You seek to address this through your National Rebirth Conference with the theme Renewed Hope for a Better Nigeria.
Yeah.
Is it coincidental that you've themed your conference Renewed Hope for a Better Nigeria?
No, it is not.
Is it in alignment with the Renewed Hope agenda of this government?
We have a government now. And the philosophy of that government is that, like, you know, I said that it is, at this critical point in the life of a nation, every patriotic Nigeria must be willing and ready to put at disposal of this country constructive ideas, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you have, so that the president cannot do it alone. And again, what we are saying is that, look, policy is good. Bring that good journalists, bring engineers, and all these things. But the underlying values, we must also address it.
Do you see?
Value orientation is not just publicity and all this. No, you know, it has to do with man and society. So it's a sociological, it's both sociological. I agree that for publicity is also there, but the most or less a sociological research and these things are necessary. That is why we have brought people.
But do you see the issues that Bukola raised now as something significant to stall the performance of any government official, particularly the ministers that are in power now?
The values?
Yes.
No nation is going anywhere if the underlying values is bankrupt. It
sounds to me like you're talking about organizational structure, organizational culture here. Each of these organizations, I mean, the ministries, departments, and agencies, I think we have about 45 ministers in office now. A good number of them already have their culture set, which may or may not be in tandem with the social. Is that what you're talking about?
We are talking of underlying, we are talking of substructure.
Individual or corporate?
No, we are talking about the foundation. Look, society that have made progress, there is consensus about the type of society they want to build, particularly about the upper class. The history of all of our society is the history of class struggle, and the struggle has existed between haves and have not. But some society are more apathetic than others.
Okay.
Look, we must, let me tell you something. Look, as you are now, brilliant broadcaster, go to your ward. You may not likely win ward election. Because what? I used to joke with my friends that, look, if they want to choose a counselor for literature, Kogi himself may lose the election to a carpenter. Because the underlying philosophy does not relate with knowledge, wisdom, or understanding, or ability to do anything. It's either let us put him there so that we can get this or
so what
all those things we must begin to address. I'm not saying that we will take it 100 meters.
What role do you think the new Ministry of Information can play in this regard? Because I recall under the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan, the late Minister of Information started a campaign at the time that was themed Good People, Great Nation. Lofty as it was received with some form of a high degree of public skepticism. So in this regard, what role can the new Ministry of Information play, such that they can champion a new system of value reorientation for Nigerians?
Let me tell you something. Men are conditioned by their socioeconomic circumstances. Larger percentage of Nigeria are not only poor, but they are living below human expectation. Number one thing to do, which you may think is does not relate to values, is to bring down hunger and starvation. We must have concrete plan in the immediate, very, very fast. That is the first thing, to bring down hunger, poverty, all these things. When you bring it down, the ears will open. Look, when the Lord Jesus Christ was preaching at the wilderness, he didn't just abandon them. What did he do? There was no food. He provided. Are you getting me? Look, where I come from, they will say, that there is no the accommodation for any other issue when the issue of hunger has not been resolved. Look, don't let us deceive ourselves. I have seen, I was not just government. I was not anything. People tried, not that they didn't try, they didn't make effort. But the fundamentals were abandoned. We must get back to this. Number one thing is that, look, we must find a way where we make general intervention. Somebody was telling me that some people who want to come from Alagole in Lagos, Abuja, they will leave their house by four something that to get to beggar to get because of what is happening. So we need to make critical intervention. But one thing is this. Why we are doing this, that we believe in the man that is at the helm of affairs, but he cannot do it alone. Every institution, that's why, look, the purpose of establishing university is to resolve conflicts. You get it? This is time for all our institutions.
Yeah, if you can do this in 30 seconds, Doctor, there is a large deficit of trust with governance. In 30 seconds, how do you think we can take a first step on that?
Look, like I just said, men are conditioned. Look.
So hunger first.
Hunger first.
Begin to trust government. Very interesting.
It will increase the social trust. Without social trust, there's nowhere we are going.
Okay, well, it's an interesting conversation, and most certainly something that has to be sustained. We have to thank you very much this morning for being a part of our conversation. Dr. Olusanya Awoson is Special Assistant on Public Relations to former President Goodluck Jonathan. And you also said you served with Chief Obasanjo. How that went is a conversation for another day altogether. We have to thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, that's the show this morning. Thank you so much for the privilege of being a part of your morning. But a quick one here. Well, we understand that this conversation is on multi-story building collapses in Abuja. A multi-story building located at the ever-busy Lagos Street in Garki Village area of Garki 2, district of Abuja, has collapsed amidst heavy downpour on Wednesday night. Yet to be identified number of people are feared dead and many others trapped in the rubble. We'll bring you more details as they unfold. That's our program this morning. Thank you so much for the privilege of being a part of it. I'm Ayo Makine. Have a wonderful day.
Indeed, thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow. I am Bukola Koka.
And we'll certainly be giving you updates on the situation of the building in Garki. Thank you for watching. I'm Maupe Ogun Yusuf.